Okay, so I hope you guys are ready. I'm not sure I'm ready, but we have one of the most amazing games I've seen in a while, if not ever. And the variations, the ideas in this game are simply out of this world. Now this was played in the 4th round of the European Individual Championship, played in Batumi, Georgia. The same place as the 2018 Olympiad will be played. Hopefully I'll be there. But yeah, with the white pieces we have Niclas Huscenbeth from Germany, and his opponent is Bahruz Rzayev from Azerbaijan. And this is a long game, so let's quickly try and catch up, but I mean, this is like such an amazing game. I almost can't believe it. So this is what got me out of well, my break, my retirement. No, I'm not retiring. But yeah, before going on, you know, my apologies. I did have the Reykjavik Open and some personal stuff to deal with, so I haven't been uploading in a while. But I guess we're back now. And very soon we'll be up and running very regularly with YouTube and streams. So stay tuned. So Huscenbeth has white, we have e4, we have the Sicilian, standard stuff, and Huscenbeth likes the open Sicilian. We have a6, the Khan variation. Okay, bishop d3. I guess the most common move, bishop d3. We have knight f6, castles, and d6. So black sets up the kind of the Sicilian pawn structure with d6 and e6. And if white goes knight c3, we just have a very good Sicilian for black. So the principal move here is c4, setting up the Maroczy Bind with c4 and e4, and that's what Huscenbeth does. We have bishop e7, knight c3, castles. So black sets up the hedgehog pawn formation, and it's called the hedgehog because it's, you know, it's awaiting its prey, and it will spring and bite if you come too close. In other words, if you come to the 5th rank, you will be bitten. It will bite you, the hedgehog. So f4, an aggressive move, bishop e7, and now queen to f3. So white is playing very aggressively. The queen in some cases comes to h3, we have e5 ideas, and attack on h7. Knight b to d7 by black. Now rook a to c1. I can't claim that I fully understand this move, and actually it might not be the best because black has a very nice move here. And if you see my video, the Timon fork, it's a similar theme. You know, we're not renewing the fork, but a very nice move here for black is knight to e5. Played rook c8, but yeah, knight e5 is a very nice move because if you take with the pawn, we recapture, and the bishop on d3 is a problem. And black will have a good position. Knight takes e6 is the best move. If you move the knight anywhere else, you're going to drop the d3 bishop, and black is, yeah, much better. So knight takes e6, and we have an equal position. So rook a to c1, probably not the best move. Nonetheless, the game continued with rook to c8. b4, aggressive on both sides of the board. We have rook c7. And here a typical plan for black. He wants to play queen to a8 and the other rook to c8. And this will bring pressure on e4, bring pressure on the c file. Very logical plan. Now queen g3 by white. And I can't claim that I fully understand what's going on here. Queen g3, after g6 he plays queen h3. So it's like he wanted g6, you know, lure him into g6 and then play queen h3. To me, queen h3 immediately made more sense, but we can't understand every nuance of grandmaster games. These guys are spending a lot of time on their moves, so it's you know, let's just keep going. Queen h3, queen a8. So big pressure on the pawn on e4. What to do? Actually, how to defend it? We don't. And white went for the attack. Now f5 is actually a very promising move here. but Huscenbeth went for the sacrifice. Kudos to him. He went knight takes e6. Now black has to accept. Queen takes e6 check, and rook to f7. So taking stock, white sacked the piece, but black got 2 pawns. So 2 pawns for white and a piece for black. Should be good for black. White went on the offensive, knight d5. Okay, hitting the rook on c7 as you can see, and the bishop on e7. So black has to do something. Has to take on d5, and it took with the knight, which is probably correct. Knight takes d5, and now c takes d5. Okay. Tension on the c file. Black resolved it by taking. Rook takes e1. And now black has a choice. When I first saw this, I thought the natural move for black here was knight to f8, and the computer agrees. It thinks that black should be better. We're hitting the queen. Okay, the queen goes somewhere. But, okay. It's still difficult. We have a queen and a knight that are not doing much, you know, they're lined up on a diagonal that's blocked by a white pawn. White has 2 pawns and pretty decent compensation, we must say. But in the end, I think the material should count. However, black went for another idea, which is very attractive. One of the many attractive ideas in this game. He went knight c5. Now what's the idea? Well, I guess you can see it, that this queen doesn't have a lot of squares, does it? Yeah, so right now, if you take on c5, which white did, it turns out after bishop to c8, the queen is trapped. Now, remarkably, the computer thinks that white is doing excellently after c takes d6, bishop takes queen, pawn takes bishop. One of the many amazing variations in this game. In case of bishop takes d6, we take on f7, king takes. We have a pawn, bishop and a rook should be equal material, and the computer actually slightly prefers white here. Going back, rook f8 is another idea when we take on e7, and remarkably a move like rook c8 when white has only 2 bishops for the queen. Well, although we do have 3 pawns as well, which should be material equality. However, white is just winning here because of the tremendous pawns here. The queen is locked down, and after f5, black doesn't really have any moves, so you know, moves like f5, b5, g4. Eventually white will push the pawns. Just a simple variation. Queen c6, trying to do something with a5, actually backfires after bishop d4, a4, and bishop takes b5. Bishop covers the checking square, and now f6. Simply f7 is coming. This is remarkable stuff. 1 bishop for the queen and some pawns, but it's winning. But Huscenbeth went for, well, he went another way. He took on f7, giving up the queen here. As the king takes, we have c6. So we have a positional queen sacrifice. White only has a rook for the queen, 2 pawns, but one of the pawns, the pawn of c6, is a considerably strong pass pawn. So a very interesting position indeed. Queen b8, and now c7, pushing the pawn further. Queen b7, okay. Seems like black has everything under lock and key. The pass pawn is blocked, but it's still dangerous. We have a4 by Huscenbeth, bishop to f6, rook to c2, bishop to d7, and remarkably, white's just playing quiet moves. h3, positional. I think objectively black should be better, but it's not easy, not at all. We see b5 in black, which is actually the computer choice, but now a5. b4 by black, and now bishop b6. Protecting the pawn, but also blocking the queen. The queen will not be able to protect the pawn on b4. Now black went for queen to c8. We should note that the otherwise desirable b3 move is met with a c8 queen. This is just an amazing game. Amazing game. Bishop takes c8. We have rook c7. We're going to win the queen. And this bishop has the pass pawn on the lock and key. And white should be slightly better here. Amazing. So going back. Where are we? Bishop to b6. Okay, hang on a minute. There's queen c8 by black. Bishop to c4, trying to improve the bishop. Bishop b5, and white keeps the bishop because of the bishop b3. Okay, this bishop is sort of pissing into the wind. It's not really doing much, is it? So we want to keep this one because it keeps the pawn under lock and key here. So king e8, he wants to bring the king to help the blockade here. c8, rook c1, the king comes over. Bishop to d1, threatening a very nasty check on g4. So black prevents that with h5, and now f5. Trying to open up the king side, get the bishop on this diagonal. We want the bishop here, and we're good. g5, bishop takes. b3 by black, and now yet another very strong move by white. e5. Black took with a pawn. What happens if bishop takes e5? I mentioned already, we want to open the diagonal. f6, bishop is coming here. White is actually winning here. So black had to be very careful. And he correctly took with the pawn. d takes e5. This is a remarkable game. Bishop f7. Bishop e6 is threatened. We must do something. King e7. And after bishop e6, we can interpose with bishop d7. Okay, white keeps going. Rook b1. Still covering the pawn. Taking this is an option, but not necessarily a good one. Black goes for the counterplay with e4. Rook takes b3. I say counterplay, I mean black is up the material, but white has the initiative here. Here, it's already tricky, but computer says king d6 is the best move. I'm not sure how to explain how you find that, but black went for bishop to e5. And now bishop to c5 check. King to f6 and d6. A very irrational position. What's going on here? White has a rook and some passed pawns. But now we're threatening rook b8. All of a sudden, something's going on. But black finds a very impressive idea. He goes for e3. Quick look at the line like bishop e6. We take. Queen takes, rook b8. The pawn's gonna queen, we're gonna win. We don't have time for this. So black actually finds a very interesting idea with e3. Okay, we go on with our idea, rook b8. Attacking the queen, what's going on? e2. Okay. In the game, white played bishop f2. What happens if we play king to f2, trying to stop the pawn? In that case, we actually do have time for bishop takes e6. If f takes e6, yet another crazy line in this game. Queen takes e6, allowing the queens, and now bishop g3 is actually winning for black. As is easy to see, king g1 with queen with check, king takes g3 with queen with check, etc. Truly amazing line. Black is winning. So can't do that. Another option is rook takes c8, but we take with the bishop now. And again, a very irrational position, but probably a good one for white. Probably can't lose. We're gonna get this pawn. And I prefer white here, but you know, crazy lines, right? So instead of king f2, we actually saw bishop to f2. But this gave black the chance to uncork an amazing defensive idea. His queen is hanging, the queen can't go anywhere. What does black do? He takes on d6. Okay, we take the queen. What is this? Bishop takes c8, and we're just winning. But no, no. Bishop c5. What is this? Deadly pin. You want to queen this pawn. What can white do? The first thing to notice is, well, if you take, there's a queen here. King h2, queen e5. And it's actually black that's winning. Like king h1, now we take the rook, etc. So bishop c5. What an amazing find. What's white do? White actually has a study-like win here. And this position, it's just absolutely crazy. And this is the 4th round of the European Championship. Somewhere in the middle, you know, this is not the top word. You know, sometimes these games go under the radar, but this is absolutely crazy. The correct move, which Huscenbeth played, is rook to f8. This is just insane. Let's have a look. If anything else, we looked at bishop takes c5. If bishop takes d7, then simply e1 queen, and this just mates bishop d6, g3, queen takes f2, etc. King h1, Czechoslovakia, more checks, and mate. So what to do? The winning move is the amazing rook f8, and this. Well, if you take, you unpin the bishop, and white has time to win. So black didn't take. He went king to g7. Quick look at bishop takes f8, just to show you. We have bishop d4 check first, and then we bring the king. We're stopping the pawn, and we have a winning position with extra pawns that are gonna queen. So therefore we see king to g7. And now Huscenbeth played rook f7 check, but there's a study-like win here, which unfortunately it didn't see. But the winning move is f6 check. Absolutely amazing. So now king h6 is the only move. If you take here, we're taking with check, and this actually is checkmate in 2 moves. A very nice mate, by the way. So king h6, and now rook h8 check. King g6 still looks tricky. There's e1 queen coming. What do we do? Another amazing move. This is like a study. I mean, people live to set up a position like this. Another amazing move. You know, pause the video and find it. You know, what's going on here? This is sorcery. Bishop f5. What the hell? Okay, the main line is king takes f6. Let's see why bishop takes f5 is such a good move. First off, if bishop takes f5, we freed the e file. Rook to e8, we stop the pawn, the material up, we're gonna win. Okay? But if king takes f5, we lowered the king to f5. What does that do? Rook e8 anyway. Like, what? Stopping the e pawn, and you can't take because check. And we even unpin here. Well, we can do anything, we can take here as well. This is outrageous. So king takes f6 is actually the best try. Then we go rook h6 check. King g7. If king takes f5, looks like a reasonable move. But now there's g4 check. If you see my pattern recognition videos, this reminds me of Lohmann's move. What Lohmann played in a simul against Lasker. g4, opening up for the king. So wherever the king goes, king f4, we have king g2. This now unpins the bishop, and now we're covering e1. And the material edge will count. This is just mind-blowing stuff. So you can't take on f5, so king g7, rook h7, king f6, and now yet another insane move. White to move here. Are you ready? Rook e7. This is sorcery. If bishop takes. Now yet another one. It looks like we can take on d7. Like bishop takes d7. But then bishop c5. Renewing the pin. And we don't have a good move. And this is actually draw-ish. So the best move is bishop d3. Now we pick up the pawn. We have two extra pawns, and this should be, well, no, it shouldn't be. This is decisive overweight. This is like an amazing study. So rook e7, yeah. This is bishop takes, and of course, if king takes, there is bishop takes c5 check. And still, this isn't completely clear because king f6. We have to stop the pawn, right? So king f2, king takes f5, and remarkably, I think this wins for white. We do have opposite colored bishops, but I think this pawn, along with a future passed pawn on the h file, the distance is too far for the bishop and the king to deal with, and this should be winning for white. So truly amazing variations. Unfortunately, Huscenbeth didn't see this. I mean, otherwise he would be in. This would be an instant classic. It already is, but he went to rook f7, and let's see what happened. King h6, we repeat the moves, and here Huscenbeth, he went for the win. But to be fair, he can do so without any risk whatsoever. He took on c5, allowing queens with check, which happened. King h2, queen e5, king h1, and takes the bishop. Has to do it. I mean, queen check, there's bishop g1, so queen takes, now rook takes d7. So materially, white has a rook, a bishop, and 3 pawns for the queen, which is a winning advantage. However, the king is quite exposed, and black started giving checks, and this should be a draw. However, let's see what happened. He kept on giving checks. Actually, queen e3 is the best move. No, it's not the best move, because queen e3, it's still a draw, but it's a bit more complicated. So I should have made the variation corner, but okay, king g1, queen c1, kept checking, king f2, and we have a lot of checks. And black is actually on the right path, giving a lot of checks, and it's still a draw. Queen e1, correct. Yeah, and here, should have checked on e1, and he can keep checking. Instead, here we have the game losing blunder, queen to b1. This allows bishop to b3 interposing, and remarkably the king eventually escapes. Let's see what happened. We have some checks, okay, repeating once, and then the king goes in the other direction, more checks. Very important we don't have check here. So queen f2, okay, gets a pawn with check, but it doesn't matter. The king is coming, rook d6 check, bishop f7 check, and then king d7, no checks, the pawn is about the queen, and after this, and king c6, Rzayev actually resigned. But wow, what a game, and some truly remarkable variations. One of the best games I've seen in a while. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. And I hope to see you soon. Subscribe. See you later. Bye bye.